We had a really rocky 2024, and I think we're going to have an even rockier 2025. We're going to have a lot of different things happen, just like we always do. As we live on a planet with weather, we're going to have storms. We're going to have floods. We're going to have earthquakes. We're going to have fires. Some of those things are going to get out of control, and some of them we're not going to be able to handle. But the thing that I'm worried about the most, and I think is pretty much inevitable at some point, and I think in 2025 the risk is really there because the scene is set. It's a cyber attack. We don't think that a cyber attack is really going to impact us because in the past when they've happened, they really didn't impact us too much. And maybe some of you have had some problems with ATMs, or maybe you lost water for a while, something like that. But we can have really widespread impacts from cyber attacks. If you think about it, we have 55,000 substations, electric substations in the United States. It takes a total of 9 of them to be taken out to knock down the entire power grid for a sustained period. So we're talking like 18 months. I don't know, 18 months without power is pretty significant. And we've already seen this recently. We've had cyber attack at the Treasury. I mean, it wasn't too bad. But they did get into desktops, and that's basically the weak point of any system with regard to security is people. People do silly things. People use simple passwords, or they use the same passwords or the same set of passwords over and over and over again. They leave their computers on when they should shut them off. They use unsecured Wi-Fi. It's always people. We can secure equipment pretty well. But the chain is only as strong as the weakest link. And that link in cybersecurity is usually people. We've also, I can't remember what it was a few years ago, there was a cybersecurity attack on natural gas pipelines. And it was just ransomware, but the government ended up paying the ransom to get control back of that. So this does happen. This isn't far-fetched, and I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just trying to raise awareness a little bit. So, what kinds of systems do you use every day that could be impacted by a cyber attack? Let me know in the comments what you think. Because, it's one thing, it's 15 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just doing a hike. So I may not be thinking 100% clearly right now. But, when I think about it, just off the top of my head, you have the ACH network, which is the automated clearinghouse for cash movement. So all of your credit and debit card transactions. ATM networks are definitely there. They have to be added to the list. And I've actually worked for banks and seen the ATM networks get hacked. I mean, they typically just shut down the network pretty easily. The bank does when the system's been hacked, and they usually know about it pretty quick. But those are relatively non-sophisticated attacks. They're not nation states. They're just what we call in the industry script kiddies. Okay, so we have automated clearinghouse, we have ATMs, we have electricity that we've talked about, natural gas. Other things that could really impact us would be anything in the logistics system, anything for trucking. That's pretty much all automated now. To go get in their truck that's already loaded for them and go. That's all happening on computers now. Internet access. I mean, that's not earth-shattering if that goes down, but it probably is for some people because you lose information, lose access to information, lose contact with your family and friends. That could be pretty tough. So what else is there? And I suspect this is going to happen for a number of reasons. Things are really ramping up. I do some cybersecurity type work, and the amount of vulnerabilities that I close on a monthly basis has probably doubled in the last year. And so a lot of them are exploitable. So somebody has come up with an exploit for those vulnerabilities. So make sure you have the things you need in your house or close to it so you can get to it. Make sure you have plenty of water saved up. I mean, it's cheap. I know it takes up a lot of space, but you need to have some. You need to have a lot of water for everybody in your family. Have a way to filter the water if you can. And I have some future videos on that coming out. Make sure you have food. You know, 50-pound bag of rice doesn't cost a whole lot. Beans don't cost a lot. Make sure that you have, if you have a generator, I don't see that as a sustainable product really, unless you have hundreds of gallons of gas sitting by. It's only going to last so long. If you have one, just have enough gas to run it long enough so that you can take your whatever meat you have left in your freezer and start processing it, start canning it, or dehydrating it if you can, smoking it, salting it, whatever. But you find some way to protect that asset. Make sure that you have your medical supplies. Make sure that you have your prescriptions filled. And I know that some people have a problem getting extras from their pharmacy or from their doctor. And definitely if you're depending on insurance to pay for it, I get that. The insurance company won't pay for it. I got my doctor to give me extra prescriptions, and I just pay for it myself when the insurance company says no. And then, you know, I just use it, and as I get a new bottle of the meds, then I replace the old bottle. I'm not letting stuff sit around and expire. Make sure that you have pet supplies, extra food for the dogs and cats, whatever pet you might have. Make sure that your gas tanks in your cars are full, because at the end of the day, you may not be able to get gasoline, so you might not want to be doing a whole bunch of driving. But it's important to be able to start the car and charge the battery, because you're probably going to be using the battery in the car to charge your cell phones or different electronic devices, lanterns, things like that. Also to run two-way radios if you have them, or charge your two-way radios. feminine hygiene products for the females. Just basically everything that you use in a day, figure what it's going to be like to go for a couple months without it, if you have to. So, anyway, I hope you get some value from these videos. We're going to be talking more about how to prepare for certain things, and really, we're always preparing for the same thing. We're preparing for basically a breakdown in the transport system, because that's where we get our stuff. And that's basically what we can prepare for, is not having things. And of course, staying fit, like I am right now. Heck, it's 15 degrees out here and getting colder, and I'm out here hiking. Okay, everybody, if you get value from these videos, I want you to subscribe, and I really appreciate it if you'd share these videos, and give it a thumbs up. So that's all I have for you now. We'll see you next week. Stay safe.